My name's Tina Papadakis. I'm a careers counsellor and registered psychologist, and the work that I do is to support people in thinking about creating opportunities in their life that will be enhancing for them professionally, and helping people to think about making choices that will suit the life they want to lead, particularly with regard to work, but more broadly than that, how work fits into a context of creating a satisfying life and a balanced life. Helping people to think about transitions they might want to make based on where they are now and where they want to be moving to. The notion of careers counselling or career decision making being a one-off is really not the case anymore. Life is very, very dynamic. The workforce is very dynamic, and gone are the days where a person will make a decision coming out of school to decide what they want to do for a career. That's really the first step in decision making, but it happens all the way through our lives. So when I'm working with clients, they can have a number of circumstances that lead them to seek out careers counselling. It might be that the person is at a loss to decide what they want to do for a career and then they need some support. It might be that the person has a number of alternatives that they're trying to decide between and they're not sure which way to go. It could be that the person is forced to make a transition from a career that they have had for a while, and for whatever reason their life has taken a turn and they may need to do something different and need some support to think about how to make a transition. So there are a whole range of reasons people might seek out careers counselling support. What a person might expect from the careers counselling process is to work with a professional who can really walk alongside them, who can listen attentively to what has gone on previously. When I'm working with clients, I'm thinking about factors like who is in their support team, who are the people who are instrumental in helping that person to move forward in a way that will work for them. It will be listening out for the skills that person already has that have worked for them previously in coping with transitions or making decisions around their work or training, and affirming those decisions and helping that person to recognise the skills they already have. And it's also about helping that person to become very much more self-aware. What is important to them? How can they recognise or identify factors that might be instrumental in creating the life that they want? So when I'm working with a client to assist them in the careers counselling process, there are a few strategies that I might be employing. It will be helping that person to be much more self-aware, helping them to think about factors such as their interests, their style, their personality, and particularly their values and how that might impact on choice and what might lend itself to satisfaction and engagement in work and in life. And I'll also be looking to help that person to understand the labour market more so. They really need to understand what might be available to them, what is required in the workforce, and how can that person market themselves effectively, utilising their an understanding of their transferable skills, their strengths, and opportunities that might suit where they've come from. I think it's also important to provide some really practical action steps for that person, or help them to establish those steps. So when I'm working in careers counselling, I'm really walking alongside that person. I'm not making decisions for them. That's really important to establish right up front, but acting as a support person. Often people will have the answers. What's interesting is when I use psychometric assessments to help a person to be more self-aware, it might be a measurement of a person's interests. Often after the fact, the person will say, actually this report hasn't told me anything I didn't know, but it's made me much more mindful about the things I'd lost touch with, more aware of the things that are important, so that I feel more confident about making decisions in moving forward and what's important to consider.
Supporting people with spinal cord injury. It's about life.